Post Malone and Tim McGraw. Let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It Music Review Season 9. I'm back with another gosh darn dang episode. And guys, I'm going to give you a little update here. You know, I'm getting ready for this concert, this Post Malone concert, etc. And I've been thinking, do you think people is bringing Miller Lights to the show, or are they bringing Bud Light? I'll just leave that thought with you. You can think about that all episode. Today we're talking about Post Malone again. Alright, he dropped his country album. We're covering it, etc. And there's a lot of features on this album. I really will say this though. A lot of great features, a lot of great country features, etc. I mean, having, Morgan Wallen, having Blake Shelton, having, even this guy, Tim McGraw, even having Tim McGraw on here, having Luke Combs, even though the Luke Combs song was terrible, even though that song was terrible, he still had Luke Combs, But, yeah. Now, today we're going to be talking about this song. Now, this is actually the first track off the album. I thought, hey, we might as well review this. I guess we'll talk about, is it a strong opening to a country album? We'll talk about that. I'll give you my thoughts on that later. But today, we're talking about Post Malone featuring Tim McGraw. Now, also, I don't know if I've talked about Tim McGraw before, but you know him. Everybody knows him. Alright, he's one of the most popular country artists, whatever. Always on the radio, etc. If you ever listen to the country radio, in a car radio, you've heard of this man, alright? Wrong ones. So, I had a couple of points to go over. Let's get started. Let's not waste any time. Now, my first point here is that I really like this instrumental. Now, the instrumental starts out pretty basic, alright? It has a nice build-up to it. It sounds kind of like a 2010, kind of hodgepodge of country here. It's kind of got those kind of dark notes, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a dark country instrumental, and I do like that. I do like the sound of it. I like how it hits hard. I like the slow build-up when Post Malone's singing, and then it just kicks off. It kicks off, and the beat drops. The drums start going off, the guitar starts going off, and then you hear Tim McGraw start doing his thing or whatever. I do like that. I definitely do like that. I like the slow build-up, and I do like the production. I think the production absolutely hits. Now, my second point. Why was there not a Post Malone verse on this? I felt like he could have done a verse on this easily. I mean, I know this is kind of a more darker country instrumental, but, I mean, when the beat kicks in, etc., I was like, hey, is Post Malone going to go crazy on this? But he doesn't. And, it's one of those things where I'm like, I guess I get it. He did have an opening verse, but I felt like you could have done two verses. I mean, I feel like you didn't, need to end the song off like that, in my opinion. Because the song, because after Tim McGraw does this verse, there's nothing. There's not even like a hook. The song kind of just ends. And it just kind of does like a little bit of a guitar solo, which is cool, I guess, if you like rock music. But just to be honest with you, like, I would rather have a verse than a fucking guitar solo that's kind of like whatever. Like, if I'm listening to heavy metal, or I'm listening to like Metallica or something, yeah, I want to hear that guitar solo. But do I want to hear a guitar solo on a country song? No, I don't care. This ain't a rock song, Like, I don't need 10 seconds of this shit. I wish there was a verse. I wish there was generally a verse, and Post Malone doesn't do a verse when his beat goes off. Like, why would you do a verse when the beat's, like, not even there? Like, there's not even the instrumental. Like, it's not even there when Post Malone's singing. I don't know. I wish there was. I really wish there was a little bit more here. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Those are my cliff notes, etc. Those are my couple of points I want to go over. But let's get in depth here. Let's go fully in. Let's dive into this song and let's go over and let's give this review out. But yeah, let's get into this. Let's go. All right, Post Malone featuring Tim McGraw, Wrong Ones. Like I said, let's talk about the instrumental. Like I said, I really like the instrumental. It had this kind of old 2010, kind of country ballad feel to it. It definitely did. It felt like a drinking song for sure. I feel like this is a 30-year-old drinking song. I feel like you could, probably drink to this song and cry about your ex-wife. I totally haven't done that yet. Totally haven't. Now, I like the build-up, and when the instrumental kicks off, it kicks off pretty hard. I like the drums, I like the guitar, etc. I like the darker, more tone on the country instrumental. But, to be honest with you guys, to be fully real with you in my humble, personal opinion, I really wish there was another verse on here. This instrumental had so much potential. This is probably one of the best instrumentals on this album. I mean, I feel like it is. It 100% is. Like, how was there not a second verse? Look, I get the second verse is Tim McGraw. Whatever. All right? I don't care. Because let me tell you this. His verse just cuts off. This man doesn't even, deliver a hook. They both don't even deliver a hook. There's no hook or anything. So if there wasn't no hook or anything, why couldn't you just do another verse? I feel like, even if it was just like an ending verse, even if it was like 20 seconds long and then now the song's over, I feel like I'd like that a lot more than the 10-minute, the fucking 10-second guitar solo and then it's over. Like, I feel like there just could have been a lot more here in my opinion. I feel like there could have been more here, Maybe there isn't a whole lot here because this is a first track of the album. Now, I'm going on a side tangent here, but it's about the song, so don't worry. Does this song have good intro album potential? Is this a good intro song to an album? I will say this. This is the strongest instrumental. This is the strongest beginning verse for Post Malone. Really great emotion here. Great potential like that. But I will say this. It kind of feels like, this song had to be cut off. You had to cut it off. So it transitions to the next song, even though probably the next other songs don't transition like that. And to be honest with you, I kind of don't like that. To be honest with you, all these songs don't transition like that. But making the first one transition to go to the second one just because you want, people to listen to the next song, I get it or whatever, but you could have done a second verse and then lead people off to the next song. I feel like that would just be a stronger impression. I feel like it would. I feel like if Post Malone really came on here and delivered what he did in the beginning when the instrumental actually starts happening, I feel like it could be a better song in my opinion. 110%. This could be like a super strong song to start off for the album, but it falls flat because, you don't finish the song out. But, that's a side tangent, I guess. It's whatever, I guess. Let's talk about Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw verse was pretty decent, too. Nice vocals. He sounded pretty home here. Delivered a pretty decent country verse. Nothing bad on Tim McGraw's part. He did his thing. Overall, this is not a bad song. It's one of those things where I'm like, all right, I can see the vision. I can see where this is at. But I feel like there was a huge, massive potential this song could have been, but it won't be because, again, you didn't finish the verse off, and it's just kind of like, damn. But yeah, overall, not a bad song. 7 out of 10. What'd you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. Guys, if you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow. Make sure you turn on notifications. We're We're dropping new content all the gosh darn dang time. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. You'll have a good one. Bye.